Now, these knowledge representations are things that might involve various media. They might involve, sure, typing, video, audio, but also what they might involve is data set. So what you might do is an Excel spreadsheet, and rather than just see the table that comes out of it, the teacher or the other students might like to see the underlying data. They might like to remanipulate that data. So, we want an environment where these information sources, dynamic, modern information sources, are really fully exposed for students and learners. Now, the word that we use theoretically to talk about this environment is the term multiliteracies. We've been working on this concept now for the last 20 years or so. So literacy in the narrow sense is alphabetical literacy. Multiliteracies is this broader sense of multimodal meaning, multimodal knowledge production. Not only is this consonant with our contemporary communications environment, but in fact, here's a nice irony. We've always used that as a form of learning. So through this series, I've got these nice little iconic images that I've been using. Here we have an image, a 17th century image of a mother and a child. So classically, children's pictures books knew that the way to learn is via this multimodal knowledge representation. So here's the image, here's the word. Now this process of crossing modes is a way to make meaning. It's a powerful way to make meaning, but also it's a powerful way to learn. So in other words, if the knowledge is represented one way, then another, it's a way to actually learn. So if you don't quite get what the words mean because they're a bit empty and you can't picture it, there's the picture, and all of a sudden the words make a little bit of sense. So what we have here in these environments is, firstly, we're getting students to work in a contemporary kind of way, in a contemporary learning spaces. But secondly, we're deploying a cognitive mode which technically I want to call synesthesia. So this is what synesthesia usually means, and we have a broader metaphorical meaning of it. So the narrower technical psychological meaning of synesthesia is I see a number and I think of a colour. So there's this is a sort of a psychological condition where people who are synesthetics have these associations that they make across concepts, across modes. But thinking about that more broadly as a kind of a cognitive move, as a learning move, let's say I've got a picture of a mountain range. I can describe that in a paragraph. There's the mountain range, it's very tall, it's up ahead of me, and so on. Okay, there's a paragraph about it, and it might be the opening paragraph of a novel, it might be a descriptive paragraph because I'm talking about geographical landforms. That's a pile of words. I could take a photograph of that mountain. I could draw a picture of that mountain, and they are both those modes are representing the same thing. So we're both doing mountains, except we're doing it in one moment in words and another moment in image. So the idea then with learning is that powerful learning involves these shifts in mode between one mode and another. And in the multiliteracies theory, what we've done is we've developed a theory of a number of different modes, and these are they. Written language. Oral language we separate because it is unbelievably and deceptively different from written language. Image, sound, gesture, and what we call tactile communication, which is something that you learn from the objectness of an object. So we've developed a theory about that, which is elaborated in great detail in the book that Marianette Kalantzis and I wrote called Literacies. But for us, this is a set of pedagogical rationales for multimodality, in which it involves fundamental cognitive processes. You learn through the process of switching from one mode to another, and the more our educational processes support that switching, the better. So let's go back to new media. We've got to have our kids doing their work in such a place where they can put all together in the one volcanoes report, writing, diagrams, images, sound, data sets which the reader can manipulate, and so on and so on. So in the 21st century, we have these marvelous media which can support us in these very powerful forms of multimodal meaning and cognitive shifts backwards and forwards between modes that we call synesthesia.